Hi, it's April, and a lot of things happen in April. There's Tartan Day and Easter and just hoping the winter is actually over. But recently I happened upon something else to do with April, and it's a little bit strange. I was looking on the PC Party's website and they have a list of all of their leaders. And I noticed while going through the list that April kept coming up. So then I went through the list a little bit more slowly, and I discovered that 10 out of 31 PC Party leaders have their birthday in April, including Tim Houston and the 3 PC Party leaders before him. So what do I do with that information? I had to find out more, so I went and I spoke first with Amanda Lee, a clinical hypnotist and astrologer.
April is the start of the astrological new year. It has 2 astrological signs that it represents. It has Aries as well as Taurus. Aries is the initiator, the starter, the warrior, the sign that gets things done. And Taurus is the sign that is financially responsible. I don't know if we can always say that about politicians though, but yeah. And so the list you sent me with birthdays, there was a lot of Aries in that birthdays. There was 7 Aries, but there was also 6 Capricorns. And Capricorns are a sign of legacy and status and leadership. So the signs that are really representative of leadership have a lot of politicians born in those days.
Now, while speaking with Amanda Lee, I mentioned that not once has a PC Party leader ever been born in February. And this is what she had to say about that.
I love that. So there's no birthdays in February. And when I look at the data, there's actually no birthdays in Aquarius or Pisces. And Aquarius are known for being very concerned about people, and in a way that they are wanting people to organize the way union leaders would be organized. So I would be interested to see union leaders' birth dates, actually, and maybe you would see that they come up more significantly in February. Pisces are known for being a little bit more spiritual, more creative, more artistic. So no surprise that they aren't inclined to become politicians.
For good measure, I also spoke with an astronomer, Rob Thatcher, and asked him what he thought of the April birthdays and astrology.
There's a really well-known, what's called a statistical paradox, I think it is, and that's called the birthday paradox. And if you get a group of people together, people are often surprised if they start talking about birthdays that there are coincident birthdays. But the funny thing is, the way the math works out, if you have a group of 23 people, it's more than 50% probable that 2 people are going to have coincident birthdays, and people are always surprised by that. And the reason is simply that when you have 23 people in the room, there's a lot of possible combinations between those different people. And that's why it's quite a probable thing. And so when you start looking at the months of people, then it gets even more common, because then we're talking about fewer possibilities, only 12 possibilities as opposed to 365. Astronomers today really have an extremely negative view towards astrology, and entertainment purposes only is the line that we'll often sort of bring out, and so on. But if you look at the root is about trying to understand the world and the universe around us. And astronomy does that in a way that for me is a very spiritual thing, like understanding more about how galaxies evolved, how planets are formed, and so on. That really speaks to how likely it is for us to be here and the sort of nature of humanity in general within this amazing universe we live in. So I think deep down, while they do both kind of like speak to the human condition, astronomy does this in a really sort of like rigorous and straightforward way, to some degree or another.
So other than votes, are stars deciding who becomes PC Party leader? Or perhaps is Nova Scotia influenced by the stars? Premier Tim Houston has his birthday on April 10th. The premier before him, Ian Rankin, is on April 9th. And also, the oldest book in Nova Scotia legislature is from 1488. It's a Latin translation of a book about astrology by Abu Mashar called Florus Albumaceris. Is this a deep-rooted thing in our culture and our history? That's up to you to decide. But if another PC Party leader is born in April, I'm going to start getting suspicious. I'm Katy Jean with SaltWire Network.